Do you need a wholesaling houses checklist to get started? Well, surprise, surprise, I have one for you. Stand by. Let's get it. Hello guys, it's Ty AK, the Flip Man. So you need a checklist to get you started wholesaling houses. Well, here's your opportunity to take advantage of the Flip Man's version of a checklist. Now, the way I did this checklist, I took the approach of someone starting with a very low amount of money as far as the budget to get them started wholesaling houses. Now, if you have a decent budget, then this will only put you into a faster motion or faster to an actual payday versus someone that may not have the same budget. So keep that in mind. This is just going to only put you on steroids, I guess you would say. So to get right into it, the first thing you need to do is obviously educate yourself. You're educating yourself for, number one, you want to know the process so you can get to an actual check. But also you need to actually sound like you know what you're talking about when dealing with sellers and buyers, but especially sellers. Okay, now educating yourself, this is, I guess, check number one on the checklist. Educating yourself can come in a lot of different ways. People like to read books, obviously seminars, online and off. Well, obviously, if you're watching this video, well, it may not be obvious to you. It may be the first video you ever saw of mine. Through my YouTube channel, I have over 200 free videos that anyone can take advantage of that will show them how to wholesale houses without using their actual cash and credit. Anyone can take advantage of that. There's no charge for that. The videos are not in any certain order, so it is a puzzle that you must put together, but it's all there. It just takes the dedication and locking into it. And I think I do a decent job of explaining pretty much every phase of a transaction. Many people have taken those videos and done deals. I actually have testimonials on my channel of non-students that have taken those videos, those free videos, and done deals. So you can do the same. Now, obviously, I would love to take you on as a coach, but that's a paid take you on as a student, and I'm your coach, but that's a paid option, which comes with 2 step-by-step courses on wholesaling houses and apartments. You don't have to take that approach. These free videos will tell you everything you need to know. Now, when people actually contact me, because I do put my phone number out there, which is 205-492-3425, probably see it here on the screen. I put it out there mainly because, people have questions about my courses and coaching. I will answer a few questions about the process itself, but normally what happens is either one or two things. I'm going to refer you to a video and or to my Thursday night webinars, which, before I go any further, that you need to take advantage of because they are free. They're live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram as the date of this video. Also, please make sure you subscribe to the channel so you are alerted when the webinars start at 7 p.m. Eastern every Thursday night. Also, when I load new videos, so make sure you subscribe and turn on the notifications right here on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, make sure you like this video, share it, and comment. I do answer questions through my video feeds, whether on Facebook or YouTube. So, and then if you want a free copy of the one-page contract that I offer, you can go to flipman.net, which that's going to be part of what I'm going to talk about here later on. The part of your checklist is a contract. But so first thing you can do is you can take advantage of my free videos. That's available to anyone that has internet access. YouTube is free. So now, for some people, that's enough, and they roll with it, make it happen. For others, they would like a step-by-step course, which I do offer that, and I offer coaching with it. You can access those prices at flipman.net. Now, there are other options out there. I'm not the only game in town. Now, I recently went to a seminar because someone commented on one of my videos, why don't you do a video on what to look for when you go to a seminar? So I hadn't been in years, so I had to go to see what the deal is now versus years ago. Found out it's pretty much the same now. I knew what the guy was talking about, but if you're just sitting there for the first time, you're ready to run through a brick wall, mainly to whip out that 197 that they were charging for a 3-day course. Now, what you need to be aware of when you do go and to a seminar is that, are you getting what you're really looking for? Because in most cases, I'm not hating on them. It is what it is. And a lot of you all can vouch for this. It's a continuous upsell. You have the 197 option. Then it goes up to $2,000. Then it may go up to 20 grand, depending on what you're looking for as a coach. But in most cases, you're never going to deal with the actual person that's the headline of the seminar. So whenever that's your real first red flag right there, that you may not be getting what you're looking for when this person is advertising, hey, now, this guy will be in your timeline, but the guy's not there. That's your first red flag right there. Now, sometimes you're in Las Vegas, maybe some of the larger markets, those guys show up because there's more money to be had there. So, which I understand. Again, I'm not hating, I'm just letting you know how it goes. So just make sure you're getting what you're getting whenever you're signing up and what you're looking for, because everybody's what they're looking for is them. Some people only need the information, but you need to make sure the information is going to be complete. And some people do need an actual coach. So make sure that you're dealing with not some guy in a call center or only having an option to email them once a week. I've heard even once a month with no phone interaction. Or if you do call them, they act like you're bothering them. So, and I hope I never come off like that to someone if I'm dealing with any of my students, just to put that out there, because I'm not perfect. I have bad days just like anyone else, but I know I make myself available more so probably than anyone out there, especially for the amount that I charge. So that's your first option. Check number one on your checklist is to educate yourself. You must know what you're doing. No matter what the source is, you need to understand what you're doing. Hopefully you just got someone that's already doing it and they'll share it with you. I get people call me all the time and say, my best friend or my brother or my sister or my cousin or uncle does this, and I want to get into it. So I'm like, huh? Why are you calling me? They won't tell you. Oh, we would have a problem. If I have a relative or a so-called friend and won't share with me on something they're doing making money, because I'm not going to do the same if I'm your friend. I'll share what I know. So I have a problem. But everybody, I guess relationship dynamic with them, but I know I'll have a problem with someone if I think they could share something with me. And the only reason they're not because of greed and they think I'm going to step on their toe. There's enough deals out there for everybody, guys. That's why I have no fear or no hesitation of putting information out there about this particular business. So, anyway, so educating yourself is number one. All right. So the next thing you want to do is get your phone ringing or getting sellers' phone ringing. And that starts with marketing and advertising to find deals. You need a game plan for that. So again, it boils down to, let me back up. There are a couple of ways of going about this starting out. Some people say build your buyers list and find the deals for them. Okay, that works. And then others, as I was taught in the way I teach it, find the deal and the buyers will come. All right, so let me give you a scenario. And some of you all may have heard this, but I always have to treat these videos as if this is the first time someone has ever seen or heard of me. So I'm gonna give you a scenario on my logic on why I think sellers are more important and where you should spend most of your time targeting instead of buyers, because I think buyers are easy because it is not hard to give away money. All right, so you have a job and I have a job. Your job is you have an empty bag and your job is to get enough people standing on one street corner, I'm on the other, is to get enough people, asking enough people, whether they're driving by or walking by, to give you money to fill that bag with $50,000. All right, my job, I already have a bag filled with $50,000. And my job is to give that away and see who has the easier job. So obviously I have the easier job of giving the money away. But guess what? just to break it down in the wholesale terms, there's nothing prevents me negotiating this type of deal, but I have to get a majority of it away, the lion's share of it away. What if I met someone on the street and said, "Hey, I have this bag here for $50,000, and I have to give this away in a day. Well, would you take it?" And they'd be like, "Sure, I'll take it." I say, "Well, would you have an issue with me taking 15,000 of that $50,000, which leaves them 35,000?" Now you're gonna have some people, and they're gonna be like, "No," but most people, you just gave them 35 grand. Boom, you can have this. You can have the 15. You sure 15 is enough, or whatever? Those are buyers. All right, the other side of the street, who knows how long it would take you? It may take you 2 years to get enough people to give you 50 grand to fill your bag. Those are sellers. So you spend your time on the harder part of the deal, which are sellers. So that's why it is so important, in my opinion, to take as much of the frustration out of the business as possible, is to become an effective marketer as possible. If you become an effective marketer, meaning either sellers calling you and or you calling sellers on a consistent basis, you will stumble on deals by mistake. It's just going to have the numbers will just simply take over. So with that being said, you need to know what you can afford as far as marketing. Now, there are free methods, which I'm going to get into that, but it's a little bit more difficult doing it that way. But I'm going to mention those. So you need to figure out whatever your budget is that you can afford to do marketing. And if you don't really have one, my suggestion, and everybody's dynamic is different, but I just know what I would do. I would pick up a second job to feed my budgeting for my business. You know, we're only talking about a few $100s. And what I mean by that, $200 for bandit signs, $200 for an actual list where you can build to actually call sellers. Now, you can use direct mail, but that's a little bit more expensive than $200. But you can buy a list for actually $100, and you can form that list, which I show you how to do that at findsellers.net and also in my course. But you can find sellers, you can just simply pick up the phone and call them. Man, that is not a lot of money. You don't have to do both of those, just one of those. So we'll just say $100 for a list or $200 for bandit signs. It's very few businesses you can start, and after the first transaction, say you only do, as I did on my first deal, was $2,500, which I have videos here where students made $11,000, $13,000, $32,000, $21,000 on first deal, but I only made $2,500. But with the small amount of money I spent on marketing, which I overpaid for some bandit signs initially, $250 for 50 signs. I didn't know any better at the time, and I made $2,500. So you do the math on what my return on investment was. I guess you can throw in my course, which was another $400 that I spent. So that's $650, and I made $2,500 off the first deal. So boom. Again, I have testimonial students that have done a lot more on their first deal. So with that being said, picking up a second job to raise the money or borrowing the money, it's only a few $100s, guys. If you have to bring in a temporary partner to fund that side of the business. But with that being said, if that's not an option for you or any of those, then there are free methods that you can use to reach out to sellers. And one of them is through landlords. The largest group of people that are going to contact you if you're doing bandit signs, direct mail, or calling, reaching out to sellers, what is going to be tired landlords. So you can be proactive to either Zillow and or Craigslist and contacting the for rent section of those particular online outfits and reaching out to potential landlords. Now, a lot of those listers are going to be with property management companies and or realtors. So understand that you're going to be dealing with them, but you're really looking for the nuggets where the actual owner has posted a listing in there. Or in offline, when you are driving around or driving for dollars, you can look for the generic for rent signs, red and white, that you can buy from Walmart, Lowe's, or Home Depot, or they may be black and white. And whenever you call them and ask them, is the property still available? Whether they say yes or no, you let them know that, hey, I'm not calling about renting the property. Would you be interested in selling the property? If they say yes, obviously you go ahead and take the necessary information to evaluate the property. If they say no, your follow-up question should be, well, do you have any other properties that you're interested in selling? If the answer is still no, then you just let them know, thank them for their time, let them know if anything changes, keep your number and give you a call back, because sometimes this situation will change. They'll go through a divorce, they'll lose their job. Obviously tired of being a landlord, can't afford to do repairs because a tenant tore up the property. They're relocating, a college kid going off to college, so it goes on and on. So their situation may change 6 months from now, and because you reached out to them, they call you back. They keep your number. They may have jotted your number down and call you back. So, so those are some free ways that you can reach out to sellers. You can JV with other wholesalers, find deals on Craigslist, I guess, places like that, or call other We Buy Houses signs and see if you can find buyers for other wholesalers. Not my thing. I will JV, but normally I'm in the position where I have a contract with the seller, and someone wants to bring me a buyer, then boom, I'll roll with it. But you can do the opposite of that. You can be more gator than I am. And obviously you can deal with real estate agents, but that's a different ball game in itself. Dealing with agents, they want proof of funds. A lot of times, well, they always want earnest money, but you can somewhat finagle that, get around that or somewhat just by your the way you negotiate your contract. But that proof of funds is normally a standard. So that's actual number 2 on your actual checklist. Number 3 on the checklist, and I didn't mention this, let me go back to number 2, is, well, I'll go to, because it's a different check. So it's a different check in itself. Number 3 on the checklist is setting up your communications. What I simply mean by that is phones, all right, and or email to be able to communicate with buyers and sellers. All right, now with the phones, if you have to, you just go with your own phone. But what the number that you have right now, but what I would highly, highly recommend is, if you don't already have it, most people do, but God, they're so inexpensive, get some form of a smartphone. Doesn't have to be an iPhone by no means. Doesn't have to be an expensive Galaxy 5 or anything like that. But most smartphones will do what you need them to do. And one of the things is obviously taking calls. Now, people say, well, what phone number should I use? Now, there are going to be some options out there. Now, at the date of this video, because this video will get older, Google Voice is a viable option. You want to try to get a local number, but sometimes that's not possible depending on what market you're in. Another option that I like, it was free whenever I signed up for it. And some people say I think it's $1 maybe now, but this app is called Sideline, also called Pinger. And it will actually ring on your phone. You can text, and you can send and receive text messages. So so those are just 2 options. Remember, Google is your phone, is your friend. You can compare services out there, but there are a lot of different options out there. Those are just the 2 that I've used and had a lot of success with, because I have several different numbers that I use for sellers and buyers, or whatever, mainly for sellers, and just depending on what form of marketing that I'm using, so I can track what's working and what's not working. So again, setting up your actual communication, and with email, you can roll with an email for your sellers and one for your actual buyers. All right, now, assuming that you have all this in place and you start receiving live bullets and you actually get a deal on the hook, and you'll need this at least for the sellers, which is number 4 on your actual checklist is a contract. Now, I give away the contract that I've used for the 14 plus years that I've been doing this at the date of this video, and people have used that same contract all over the country. You can do the same. Now, you have to go with what you're comfortable with, but I highly recommend that particular contract because, number 1, it's free and it's been tested. You're buying the property as is, which will be stated on the contract. If you're not sure how to get a copy of that, as I mentioned before, flipman.net. And I also have videos for the buyer and the seller side of the contract, especially the seller, how to fill it out. I have videos there. Just search on my YouTube channel or just do a search for how to fill out a real estate contract for wholesaling houses, and one of my videos should pop up, and I go into great detail on how to fill that out. Now, if you're not comfortable with my contract, you want to go with that 12 or 13 page realtor's contract, then go with the one that's sufficient for the state that you're doing business in, that realtors are using, and roll with it. That's going to be totally up to you. And if you're not satisfied with that or mine, remember, Google is your friend. There's going to be a ton of options out there where you some places you can actually build your own contract. And then obviously you can go to an attorney and waste that money, in my opinion. This is not brain surgery, guy. There's too many people out here that are using simplified contracts that has never been reviewed by an actual attorney or whatever. But again, you're going to have to go back with what you're comfortable with. I'm not an attorney. You're going to have to go with what you're comfortable with. I can just tell you that the free contract that I give away has been used and tested all over the country. So those are the 4 steps on the checklist. Now I wanted to add a couple of things that I guess technically could be on the checklist, but these are things that could wait, in my opinion. All right, now I'm huge believer in the internet and websites and social media and all of this, but a website can wait because it can wait if you don't have it to put in your budget. But if you have it you have it in your budget to go ahead and do that without preventing you from doing the other forms of marketing, then roll with it. Just get it into motion. You don't have to have it ready to go. Just get it into motion. I don't like for people to stagger and wait on things. Get things into motion and you can add on as you start to make money. So, but if you have it in your budget, roll with it. But if you don't, it can wait. An LLC, if you have it in your budget, go ahead and roll with it. Get it into motion. Don't let it prevent you from doing a deal, but get it into motion. If you don't have it in your motion in your budget to get an LLC created, then just wait till you do your first deal. You'll have the money to do so. So again, those are things that can actually wait. Now with the social media, with Facebook, you can add a Facebook page. You can do your Instagram. All that stuff is free. So you definitely will want to roll with that. So this is the actual simple checklist that I think that'll get you started. I try to simplify things as much as possible. Feel free to add your comments to this particular video. Please share it. If you're on Facebook, YouTube, like it. Again, share it with friends, family members you think this may help. But this is the Wholesaling Houses checklist. Remember, I have the 200+ videos that anyone can take advantage of. Make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Turn on the notifications so you know when I'm actually going live. Also, whenever I upload new actual videos. You need a step-by-step coach along with 2 step-by-step courses on wholesaling houses and apartments. Simply go to flipman.net. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the flip side.